Welcome to This Week in Astrology. This is episode number 673 for June 1 through 15, 2025. Jupiter enters Cancer and squares Saturn, giving us the two most important astrology events in June's first half. Other potent events include a massively aspected Sagittarius Full Moon, Mars square Uranus, and much more. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm your host, Benjamin Bernstein. I record these forecasts as an audio podcast and a video, so take your pick. The video version includes detailed chart graphics, which you can also see in my written forecasts at astroshaman.com. Be sure to subscribe to This Week in Astrology, and if you have not already, be sure to click the link in the show notes for 2 chances to win a free Astrology Plus session with me each month. Look for timestamps in the show notes so you can jump right to the day you want. As of June 1st, the moon is waxing, Pluto is retrograde, and we have 3 continuing aspect patterns. See details and links to all this in the show notes. Last month, I did a survey on my astrology forecast, thanks to helpful input from the 61 respondents. I am making some adjustments, starting with this forecast. A slight majority favored forecast twice per month, which I was leaning toward anyway, so I'm returning to this shorter format. However, I am adding a sneak peek at the most important astrology events in the upcoming forecast. Most respondents rated my forecast about right for complexity, number of events, and number of aspect patterns included. But the rest clearly preferred greater simplicity, fewer events, and fewer aspect patterns. So I'll be streamlining a bit more. 74% of respondents want me to cover political, national, and global potentials as well as personal advice. I'm starting that here with my Jupiter square Saturn interpretation. 64% prefer that I stick with written forecasts on social media rather than pulling clips from my video forecast. I'll also go with the majority on this. There were also several suggested improvements I'll implement as soon as time permits. I'll announce these as I roll them out. Finally, the winner of the free 90-minute Astrology Plus reading, chosen by a random sequence generator from all respondents, is Chi Rowan. I let her know she won, and she gave me permission to share her name here. Congratulations, Chi, and thank you so much to everyone who did my survey. All right, on to the forecast. On Sunday, June 1st, relationship healing is empowered with Venus conjunct Chiron at 26 Aries. If challenge arises, could it be an opportunity to make things better? The more of the following 4 factors are present, the greater your chances of harmonizing a challenging relationship. 1, both people have a strong desire to heal the relationship. 2, you're using a formal relationship healing method with a proven track record when needed. My favorite is nonviolent communication, which is linked in the show notes. 3, both people take responsibility for their own emotions. They understand that the other person can only act as a catalyst and cannot force them to feel a certain way. And finally, 4, each person is actively doing their own emotional healing work outside the relationship container. They might be working with a therapist or healing practitioner, or they might be using a fast and easy DIY tool, such as my free healing invocation. That is linked in the show notes, or you can go to astroshaman.com/invocations to learn more about that. By the way, I borrowed all this relationship information from my post, which is called, "Is a Relationship Awesome, Awful, or Mixed?" That's also linked in the show notes. This Venus-Chiron conjunction also supports creative mentoring and financial counseling. Jumping over to Friday, June 6th, the relationship theme that started with the June 1st Venus-Chiron conjunction continues today. However, this month-long Thor's hammer zeroes in on committed partnerships. This hard aspect pattern starts today on June 6th, peaks on the 20th, and ends on July 7th. It includes Juno, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. If a committed partnership is going well, this Thor's hammer can help you make it even more wonderful. If it's time to let a relationship go, challenging circumstances could draw this to your attention. If a relationship is ripe for healing, you might find the relationship advice helpful that I just gave in the first event. Juno represents committed partnership. Jupiter can amplify your awareness of the situation while also sending you hope and optimism. Saturn can help you see your relationships more objectively. Finally, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction can help you use the law of attraction, linked in the show notes, to improve your committed partnerships. On Sunday, June 8th, you can boost your mental prowess as the planets of learning and communication come together in a Mercury-Jupiter conjunction. That's at 29 degrees, 45 minutes Gemini. Mercury, empowered in its own sign of Gemini, rules all types of learning, teaching, writing, and communication. Jupiter rules higher education and can act as a professor, philosopher, guru, or other wisdom giver. Jupiter also rules publication and broadcasting. Time to get your message out. I-O-I-O-O. Woo! On Monday, June 9th, Jupiter enters Cancer. He remains there for just over a year through June 30th of 2026. Here are some negative, positive pairings for Jupiter in Cancer. This will help you avoid its downside effects so you can maximize its upside potentials. Also, watch for these effects in the world around you. Here's the first pairing. Negative. Tendencies toward materialism, waste, and overconsumption can lead to self-indulgence and gluttony. Being overly concerned with status and prestige can make you want more than you need and make you feel entitled. Expecting creature comforts and taking things for granted could make you act spoiled. Its positive counterpart, feelings of happiness and well-being lead to satisfaction and contentment. Natural kindness and generosity promote urges to give and receive nurturing. Your personal code of ethics and feelings acts as your truth. Here's another pairing. Negative. Feelings of snobbery and cliquishness can lead to self-righteousness, arrogance, hypocrisy, and false concern. This can lead to milked emotions and playing for sympathy. The result can be overdone or affected feelings and displays of emotional excess and dramatics in daily life. Positive. Tolerance and acceptance, along with open-hearted appreciation and concern for others, can help you live a compassionate and harmonious life. Here's the next pairing. Negative. Differences in belief between you and your family could stoke interpersonal conflict. Positive. Nurturing feminine energy supports feelings of domestic well-being. This could include a large and welcoming home, positive values, and a tolerant and supportive family culture. Community values and cooperative living can create a rich sense of community. That's all the pairings. Big thanks to the extraordinary astrologer Ren Butler. Much of this Jupiter in Cancer interpretation is based on content from his amazing book called The Archetypal Universe, which I enthusiastically recommend and, of course, have linked in the show notes. Also, on Monday, June 9th, financial matters can face great opportunity or challenge with Venus square Pluto. Venus, 3.5 Taurus, Pluto, 3.5 Aquarius. Venus is in the money sign of Taurus, which she rules. Pluto rules wealth and power, but can go high or low. Be sure to exercise due diligence in all your financial dealings. There is no end of scams out there. Pluto can also empower Venus's other expressions, including relationships, creativity, and aesthetic appreciation. I'll be back with the full moon, Jupiter square Saturn, and more right after this brief message. I'm honored to be extensively quoted in the new book by best-selling author Kayla Shaheen. Her previous book, The Shadow Work Journal, A Guide to Integrate and Transcend Your Shadows, sold over 1 million copies and gained viral acclaim on TikTok. She also created the popular Zenful Note healing app. Kayla's work has been featured in the New York Times, Forbes, Billboard, and The Atlantic, which called her the, quote, new empress of self-help, end quote. Her new book is The Book of Shadow Work, Unlock the True You, the must-have guide to inner healing and authenticity. Several pages are devoted to my quotes, which appear in 5 different sections. She features me talking about shadow work, my ayahuasca experiences, and my healing invocation. She also includes my thoughts on the great onion of consciousness and how my life partner Spirit Song and I support each other's healing and awakening. Her book also makes several mentions of my invocation book, Instant Divine Assistance, Your Complete Guide to Fast and Easy Spiritual Awakening, Healing, and more. I'm honored that Kayla chose to feature me so prominently and hope that my information proves helpful to her readers. And I encourage you to read the Book of Shadow Work, which is packed throughout with helpful insights on healing. Back to the forecast. Wednesday, June 11, a full moon lights up the sky at 3:44 a.m. EDT at 20 degrees, 39 minutes Sagittarius. For starters, the moon is in Sagittarius, the sign associated with expansion and good luck. It's the sign most associated with good fortune. Any Sagittarius full moon is great for release or adjustment in a variety of areas. You can dive more deeply into higher education, formal or self-guided, as a student. You can also bless others as a professor, philosopher, guru, or other wisdom giver. Sagittarius rules foreign travel. This could mean a physical excursion, but with today's technologies, other countries and cultures can easily come to you. Do you crave a deeper understanding of life? Sagittarius rules religion, philosophy, and life's meaning. Are you living life as a quest or adventure? Sagittarius would love it if you did. And are you experiencing enough celebration, euphoria, and enthusiasm? These are Sagittarius's most joyful expressions. Endlessly expansive Sagittarius is the sign most likely to overdo things, so be careful not to put too many irons in the fire. Sagittarius can also believe it has the one true way, even when it doesn't, so please don't succumb to street corner preacher syndrome. Aspects. This full moon is at the bending of the nodes. This means that the sun and moon are at right angles, the square aspect, to the north and south nodes of the moon. The nodes represent life purpose, while a square invites you to turn a corner. So one major theme of this lunation is to make any changes that will better align you with the reasons you incarnated. Moving from the Virgo south node to the Pisces north node, this could mean less ego control and more acting in the flow under intuitive guidance. The sun and moon form a kite with Mars and Chiron. This energetically and harmoniously supports shadow work to heal old traumas. This flowing aspect pattern can also boost your ability to heal or advise others. This kite expands into a five-sided envelope when we add Pallas Athena. This asteroid goddess can grace your assertiveness with a gentler touch and helps you accomplish your goals more strategically. She also supports negotiation, mediation, and diplomacy. Finally, the moon makes minor hard aspects to Venus, Vesta, and Pluto. The Venus sesquare could bring up some challenge in your relationships, creativity, or finances. Venus is powerfully placed in Taurus, a sign she rules. So a grounded, persistent approach to any such issues will boost your odds of success. A Pluto semisquare could invite life-affirming transformation or release, which could include trauma healing. Doing this could ultimately put you ahead, since it can unlock the Plutonian blessings of wealth and power. Finally, a Vesta semisquare invites you to selflessly serve a higher cause. What would you enjoy doing that helps make the world a better place? This full moon Sabian symbol is a child and a dog wearing borrowed eyeglasses. If you're not watching the video, please go to astroshaman.com to that forecast and check out the image. It's so cute. This image starts by inviting us to lighten up. A dog wearing borrowed eyeglasses? That's ridiculous. But the ludicrous can be useful. You can lose perspective and be closed to new ideas if you're too deeply mired in a problem. Something silly can snap you out of fruitless focus and open you to unexpected insights. The idea of borrowed eyeglasses carries the idea of seeing with someone else's eyes. Would you benefit from someone else's perspective on an important matter right now? Finally, dogs act on their instincts. Should you get out of your head and follow your gut feeling about something? On Saturday, June 14th, two interlaced fingers of God, formerly called a double yod key, supports empowerment through adjustment for the next 2 weeks. It starts today on June 14th, peaks on the 21st, and ends on the 29th. It includes Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto. This aspect pattern's effects are widespread, so you can adjust for empowerment in any area of life. However, with Mars in Virgo, certain opportunities are highlighted. You can energetically serve others in ways you enjoy, improve your health or the health of others, and take things to the next level of refinement. You can also bring enhanced mindfulness to Mars' natural expressions. These include acting as a warrior, pioneer, sexual being, or entrepreneur. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction in one corner of this double yod key brings additional opportunities. It's great for law of attraction manifestation, embodied awakening, and conscious dissolution. On Sunday, June 15, use today's intense Mars-Uranus square, Mars 29 Leo, Uranus 29 Taurus, with great mindfulness. On the challenging side, this aspect can be chaotic and destabilizing. Mars' warlike tendencies can strike violently and unexpectedly. Steer clear of dangerous people and situations as much as possible. On the high side, this aspect can energize you to act immediately on your intuitive hits. You can take ingenious, inspired action as a warrior, pioneer, sexual being, or entrepreneur, and you can boldly show the world your truest self. Mars is in Leo, helping you stand out as a leader or entertainer. Leo also loves playing with kids, having fun, and enjoying rest and recreation. You can use Uranus's electrifying energy by embracing your unique talents, then serving the world with them in whatever ways delight you most. And trust the intuitive hits you'll be getting. They come from your higher self and are the most reliable guidance a human can receive. Also, on Sunday, June 15th, one of 2025's most important astrology events, a Jupiter-Saturn square, Jupiter 1 degree Cancer, Saturn 1 degree Aries, has its third and final occurrence today. Jupiter and Saturn came into orb, which means they began to influence each other on July 6 of 2024 and made their first two squares on August 19 and December 24th of 2024. Their final square is today on June 15th of 2025, with the square's influence ending on July 31st. This hard aspect creates dynamic tension between expansion and restriction. It's a great time to refine long-term goals and balance optimism and realism. Here are some helpful ways to work with this aspect. Reevaluate your plans. Jupiter encourages growth while Saturn demands structure. Scrutinize your ambitions, making sure they're both visionary and practical. Develop patience and persistence. Jupiter likes to expand when and where it wishes, while Saturn creates slowdowns and roadblocks when something needs your attention. To avoid frustration and maximize success, aim for steady progress rather than instant gratification. Balance risk and caution. Jupiter pushes for bold moves while Saturn urges caution. Find the middle ground by taking disciplined, calculated risks. Be flexible. Sometimes Jupiter, the planet of expansion, optimism, and celebration, will lead. Jupiter may also invite you to focus on philosophy, religion, and foreign travel or influences. At other times, heed Saturn, who embodies seriousness, maturity, boundaries, and limitation. He may call for you to focus on your goals, plan your work and work your plan, and keep your nose to the grindstone. The signs of the social planets add other life-affirming potentials. Jupiter is in Cancer, while Saturn is in Aries. These cardinal signs are great for getting things started, and your emotions, Cancer, can supercharge your actions, Aries. Jupiter and Saturn form the waxing square of the Great Conjunction of 2020. This marks the first major turning point of that momentous Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, one of this whole decade's most important influences. To learn how to make the best use of this great conjunction cycle, click the link in the show notes. Now, here's how the Jupiter-Saturn square is showing up in some U.S. and world events. Trump is restricting Saturn, colleges and universities, Jupiter, as well as international college students, also Jupiter. Trump is using tariffs as trade barriers, Saturn, against all foreign countries, Jupiter. Many courts are restricting, Saturn, Trump's unprecedented expansion, Jupiter, of presidential power. Trump's actions, strongly favoring the wealthy, are restricting, Saturn, prosperity and good fortune, Jupiter, for most people. The death, Saturn, of Pope Francis, Jupiter representing religion. Increasing restriction, Saturn, of freedom, Jupiter, in the U.S. and abroad. Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, shrinking, Saturn, government, Jupiter. Trump's questionable pardons, Jupiter equals freedom, of certain criminals, Saturn equals incarceration. Finally, strategically using fun and humor, Jupiter, to overthrow repressive regimes, Saturn, as described in the book Blueprint for Revolution: How to Use Rice Pudding, Lego Men, and Other Nonviolent Techniques to Galvanize Communities, Overthrow Dictators, or Simply Change the World, by Sergej Popovich. Coming up in my June 16 through 30 forecast, we'll have Jupiter square Neptune, Jupiter square Saturn and Neptune, Sun entering Cancer, marking the summer solstice, and a Cancer new moon, and more beyond that. I hope you'll tune in next time to learn all about those. Here's the latest 5-star review of my book posted on Amazon. Quote, "Super easy and approachable. I heard Benjamin on a podcast and tried the techniques. I genuinely felt different immediately after doing the invocations and continue to do them daily. This book is a quick, simple read with no fluff, and he shares lots of helpful free resources." End quote. That's from Andrew Plord. He gave me 5 out of 5 stars, reviewed in the United States on May 5th, 2025. The complete title of my #1 bestseller is Instant Divine Assistance, Your Complete Guide to Fast and Easy Spiritual Awakening, Healing, and More. It's available in 4 different formats: ebook, audiobook, paperback, and hardcover, for as little as $3.99. It's also in Kindle Unlimited. Click the link in the show notes to learn more, or go to astroshaman.com/book. Would you like to speed up your healing and awakening as part of an uplifting community of dedicated awakeners like you? Then check out Awakening Plus, the affordable online membership that can put your personal transformation into high gear. You can choose from about a dozen Zoom calls every month, as well as an ever-expanding archive of more than 800 events that can profoundly change your life. You'll also benefit from 4 major courses and much more to help you awaken, heal, and thrive. And we're adding more new courses and events in 2025 than ever before. To find out more, click the link in the show notes or visit awakeningplus.com. That's awakeningplus.com. Thank you for being here. Once again, I am Benjamin Bernstein with astroshaman.com. I can serve you with astrology readings, shamanic healing, one-of-a-kind life coaching, and deep dive trauma healing. And as I mentioned, I run the Awakening Plus online membership for spiritual support. You can learn about all this and more at astroshaman.com. Please reach out if you have any questions. My email is benjamin@astroshaman.com, and my number for voice and text is 828-338-9852. I'd love to connect with you. We are wrapping up. If I have earned it, please leave me a 5-star rating, review, or comment wherever you're getting this episode, which will help others discover it. Thanks again for spending this time with me. I wish you infinite blessings as the stars light your way.